Mmhmm. This is one of my favorite recipes using a ground provision. Cassava pie or cassava cake is a great way to transform a simple ingredient into something impressive. Now, I don't know if you know about this technique or not, but I'll start off by showing you how to peel the cassava. I learned this from my late Auntie Charmin, and I can't remember how I used to peel it before, but whatever I was doing before compared to this was a total failure. Using a sharp knife, you want to cut into the skin of the cassava at the top of the cassava at about a 45-degree angle. Then you want to run the knife around the circumference of the cassava, maintaining that angle until you reach the bottom. If done correctly, you should be able to remove the skin like one whole sleeve. Cut into 2-inch chunks, and at this stage you could cut them in half and remove the root, but I prefer to let them boil until they split open, then remove the exposed root. This way I know the cassava is cooked right through and is tender. You want to cook the chunks in salted water for about 25 to 30 minutes. The cassava would eventually split in the middle, like the song, and expose the fibrous root. Now, even though this is very hot and needs to be handled with extreme care, I prefer to remove the root at this point. Once you're done removing the root, add chopped garlic, rosemary, olive oil, and coconut milk. It's important to do this while it's hot so that the cassava is much easier to mash. Of course, you could use butter and cow's milk instead if you prefer to make a non-vegan version of this. Mash until you reach your desired texture and consistency. I go in for a rustic finish where you get some small chunks of cassava between the smooth mash, but you could go for a totally creamy finish if you want. Now, if you're looking to go for perfect shapes, my suggestion is that you allow this to cool to room temperature or put it in the fridge. At this point, you could use a muffin tray to bake your pies individually, but I go in for a more rustic and free-form finish, so I'll be using a spoon and just portioning them out. Bake in a preheated oven at 375 degrees for 10 minutes or until golden brown. Now, the great thing about this recipe is that you could experiment with different ingredients to make it your own. You could add cheese for a more luxurious product, or season it with some paprika or jeera. Possibilities are endless. Today I'm serving this up with some stewed lentils, but it also goes great with like stew beef or baked chicken. The full recipe is on eatahfood.com, and if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, give it a share, and if you do try this recipe and want to make it your own, let me know what ingredients you might add or take away to give it your own special twist. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Mmhmm.